Welcome to Would You Rather with our guest, Melody Cooper. Today, we're going to talk about articles in the world and how they relate to two films, Attack the Block.
It's a slow loris that kills its own kind with flesh-rotting venom.
And 28 Days Later.
Oh, yeah, zombies. It's happening.
If you enjoy this and other videos, please subscribe to our channel. Introduce yourself however you see fit, Melody.
Hi, I'm Melody Cooper. I am. I actually came out to LA. I'm from New York. I grew up in New York, raised in New York, but and I vowed that I would never move to LA unless I got a job. And then I got last year was a year and a half ago. I got into the HBO Writers Fellowship, and once a month I would fly out here for meetings. And LA slowly wooed me to come out, and then I booked a staff writing gig on 2-sentence horror stories, and moved out here to do that. And I haven't left. 2-sentence horror stories features women and BIPOC characters, and we deal with societal issues. So I was like, yes, it's great. So I wrote those 2 episodes, and then I have a horror comedy called All the People I Like Are Dead. And there's a company, Fearworks, that is, I have a shopping agreement with, and we've raised half the money to shoot it in Canada, either this summer or, it depends on what's going on with COVID. But yeah, so I've just been really lucky to have these opportunities now, especially. And there's some other stuff happening that I can't talk about yet, but it's all good. And I'm writing a comic book, so it's fun.
Cool. Well, let's dive right in. Caroline, you want to kick us off with the first article on tap?
Look, we can talk about a lot of things because obviously, there's a pandemic going on. There's the whole social justice aspect where you could talk about Attack the Block. The thing that I remember, and yes, it's there's a lot of things to talk about there, but just how of course, the killer aliens kind of looked like dogs. And so they were all like, is that a puppy? And I thought, oh, no, even dogs. Look at this dog. Okay, trying to bury the baby that it killed. I mean, God. It's like, yeah.
It's supposed to be something you trusted, and then does that.
Yeah, it makes you think, like, don't get near the dog, right? And then this dog's not that cute, though. It's not like the cute dogs in Attack the Block. But look at this guy. This is really cute. It's a slow loris that kills its own kind with flesh-rotting venom. Anyway, so those are the articles. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. I mean, it's really just horrible. Anyway, so those were my contributions. Now we can talk movies. Let's talk movies.
Wow, so much there to lead us into Attack the Block. I was watching the movie again and noticed how fun it is. Boyega is the cultural and sort of dramatic heart of the film, and he's very serious. But just about everything else in that movie is, Goonies in central London. Sort of watching it and thinking about social commentary and the chanting at the end and the cheering and how amazing socially it is. But really, it's just a fun Monsters in the Hood movie, right? Right?
And it is, what I love too is that it's like tonally very different than, of course, 28 Days, but it has a Black hero and then something I realized, without guns, because I've heard they want to do Attack the Block in like LA, and I just don't see how it would quite work, because part of the point is that they have to be so resourceful and inventive. And then this idea of a multi-ethnic band of kids just coming together to fight these things was great.
So they're just all different kinds of people with all different, objectives and stuff. So it's not just like one person trying to do one thing. Even Boyega, like multi-layered character.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting what you said about no guns, and like you couldn't make this movie in America because our kids have guns, but the Brit kids don't. I mean,
And that was the racial statement, was just in that there was no racial statement. In a way, it was like they happened to be all different ethnicities, and they were working together, and it wasn't about race. But it ended up being a much stronger statement because of that, I think. I'm killing them straight. Let's get tooled up, blood.
I agree. And the chanting at the end when they're sort of cheering for Boyega, and you know, the cops have come and gotten him. We in America, you know, as Black people are like, oh, that's race. But I think it was more class, actually, in that movie.
Yeah, or an intersection of that. Because if you've seen Small Axe on Netflix yet, it definitely, people say, oh, racism doesn't exist in the UK. And I lived in London. It exists, but it exists in a different way than here. Yeah.
Caroline, any final words on Attack the Block?
Well, I mean, I still thought it was scary. It's because I had the opposite reaction to you, Bruce, when I revisited it. I remembered it being this fun kind of movie, and then it opens with they're trying to rob this woman, these pretty like vicious murders with these dogs happening in like rapid succession, and I was like, I don't remember having to cover my eyes like that, because by the end you're like, yay.
Yeah. And the beastie changes, right? Because the first one is sort of cute, doggy, maybe like that loris of yours, Caroline. You'd go up and maybe try to pet it in a weird way. But then mom and dad and all the cousins show up, and they're not cute at all.
One text list. It's too much madness to explain in one text.
Yeah, that's the one. It's the lady. It's the female, and they're there to mate is the thing. So that was interesting.
Cool. Good. All right, what's our next on tap?
Well, it's 28 days later, right? That's where I had shared. The world is so serious. I just thought that this article about zombie minks rising from the graves was kind of like, oh, yeah, zombies, it's happening, right?
Is it just that they didn't really kill them? They just kind of buried them?
No, this was part of a COVID-19 strain. Then they had to kind of, I don't even.
I think they just buried them, and I think some of them dug their way out. They put them in a giant pit, and they said, okay, we'll kill them. And nobody like thought like, maybe we should make sure they're dead. So.
Maybe that's what really happened in 28 days later, and we're just blaming it on the monkeys.
In opposition to Attack the Block, like I said, like I think Attack the Block overall is a cute, fun monster film. 28 days later, that ain't cute and fun.
I have to leave now. More will be coming. They always do.
Although
it has a black heroine, right?
Oh yeah,
so there's still the black hero, and it's still that kind of movie where it's just, that's what I loved about this movie. It's just like your everyday people. There's not this obvious celebrity. It's like, that could be me for sure, except I'd be dead fast. So maybe not me, but
that's the DNA that it shares with Attack the Block. It's a multi-ethnic band of folks who are trying to like save themselves. And the moment that haunts me ever since I first saw the film was the father and the drop of blood in his eye. And it's so heartbreaking. I mean, that movie is heartbreaking.
But no, I love in 28 Days Later when he's trying to run up the stairs, and of course,
and he can't.
The badass she can run, so she like
Moneypenny can run.
Wait for me, wait. Yes. I was like, oh, that would be me. I would be like, oh,
yeah.
Like you were saying, it's an ensemble piece, and who's in charge shifts. Like she's in charge for most of that movie. Then they run into the soldier guys, and he's in charge. I'm going to put his name up there because he's a fantastic actor, and of course I have him in front of me. And then we come back, and in the end, Cillian Murphy is sort of in charge because he goes crazy and kills people. And it becomes his movie, but that's like hard to do. Like you're a writer, Melody, like shifting the focus of who's telling the story and who we're focusing on, really not such an easy thing to do.
Yeah, and I was going to actually just about to mention that tonally the film changes when they get to the house and there's the military.
I feel like it totally fits with how just overwhelming and just how apocalyptic the movie is, right? So they finally get to the military and they're going to save us, and these soldiers are mean. I mean, I still felt bad for that soldier hiding in the cupboards under the sink when he lets the zombie loose. And as obnoxious and terrible as those people were, I was just like, oh, I just feel so bad still.
Yeah. And that's where also you get a lot more of the race and the gender. You know, you get a lot of that in that scene. That's where you just like, they just lean into how a Black person and how a woman would be treated in that kind of situation.
Which leads us perfectly into what we discuss in every episode. Were there Black people in these movies? Well, obviously, Attack the Block got a whole bunch of Black folks, and multiracial, though no Asians in
No Asians
either movie, right, Caroline?
No, although I always think that Cillian Murphy has that. I don't know. Like there's just something there. I'm not sure. A great great grandmother or something had an affair. I just feel like there's something happening there. But no, not technically.
How about Florida, Caroline? Anything going? We always have this Melody. Caroline gives us an update on Florida man who's usually like trying to swallow bleach or attending a rally or not listening to something and winning a Darwin Award by killing himself in an amazing way. So anything up in the Florida verse?
I
right
feel
now?
like in the Florida verse it would be, six of one and half dozen of the other, because I feel like Florida man could absolutely take on the zombies and absolutely take on like the alien dogs. I just feel like there are so many guns in Florida, enough to go around, and enough baseball bats, enough weed. I mean, like I just feel like there's enough of everything here that we could take on both.
Florida man would find common cause with the aliens, I think, and find a way to use them to sick them on libtards and the rest of us. I think, I think Florida man would cut a deal.
Wasn't there a Florida man who ate someone's face? So probably could fit in with the zombies too.
Ooh, that's right.
Zombies.
Oh, that was that drug, right? The chemical marijuana.
Yeah.
Ouch. All right. Okay. All right. So that brings us to the great question of the day. Melody, you are our guest, so let's start with you. Before Melody tells us which she would rather, please check out the short film that she wrote and stars in, which I directed on our channel here, Memorable Minorities, No to Yesterday. And please subscribe to the channel. That's what Shen Shen says anyway. Thanks. Which would you rather? Are you going to be caught with the beasties running around and chasing you that are from outer space, trying to mate and kill you? Or are you going to live in a world overrun by zombies? Rage, as they say.
Hands down, the beasties from another planet, because they're not all over the place yet, and they're actually there for another reason altogether. And it seems like you can win in that situation. The zombies, nope.
As much as I love the apocalyptic world idea, there's no way I'm surviving that. So yeah, give me the beasties running around in their city, London. Caroline?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty easy, right? I would definitely take the beasties too. The thing about Attack the Block, though, is you don't know if maybe some of these other female beasties had deposited, in other places. I just know that I don't like pets. And so I wouldn't be one of those people who's like, oh, let me see the cute little dog. That would never be me. I'd be like across the street. Nothing would happen to me.
So we have our answer. It's a sweeping, we would all rather deal with the beasties in London from Attack the Block than live in a world of 28 Days Later. So thank you very much for joining us, Melody. Short and sweet there. Anything else that you want to talk about on either of these films or on anything else?
Well, I would say when it comes to zombie-ish things, the episode that I wrote for Two Sentence Horror Stories, it airs on the Tuesday the 26th, and I think that zombies have not been exhausted yet. And the thing about those zombies is they were fast. It was the first time we saw fast zombies, and that freaked everybody out. So yeah, no, I thought the zombie trope is done, and then I got a chance to kind of write something that was akin to that, and I was like, no, I think there's something left to it. So yeah.
No, congratulations. I look forward to seeing it. And where do you stand on the fast zombie, slow zombie controversy, by the way? Like, Max Brooks has a real strong take on it. People who worked on the Romero films have strong takes on it. Where do you stand on fast zombie, slow zombie?
So fast zombies actually make more sense to me as an infection than slow zombies who are dead, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And 28 days later is absolutely an infection. So works perfectly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Melody, for being a guest. Enjoy Los Angeles. Look forward to seeing you back here in New York, and we'll see you again soon.
Good to see you.